Okay, we continue with our class laws of Yom Tov. And we start with Sefer Shmiras Haloshon, and the topic is pursuers lot. Pursuers. Okay. Scripture state God always seeks a pursuit in Kahalas 3:15. The Medrash comments in Vayikra Rabbah 27:5. So before we continue, so God always seeks a pursuit. So when everybody is against you, that's not the worst thing. So Hashem is on your side. It's very interesting. Rav Yossi ben Nehurai said, "The Holy One, blessed be He, always exacts retribution for pursuers for the blood of the pursued." Rabbi Elazar said, in the name of Rabbi Yosef ben Zimra, "So it is with the temple offerings. God said, the ox is a pursuit by the lion. The goat is a goat by the leopard, and a sheep by a wolf. Do not bring offerings from the pursuers, but only from the pursued." Okay, so let's try to understand from the beginning. Rabbi Yossi ben Nehurai said, "The Holy One, blessed be He, always exact retribution from the pursuers for the blood of the pursued." So meaning, if somebody is against you, or right, so Hashem is on your side automatically, right, and He's going to exact punishment from them. Rabbi Lazar said in the name of Rabbi Yosef ben Zimra, so it is in the temple offerings, right? So temple offering, it's an honor, as we understand. It's an honor to be brought as an offering, right? For this animals. So God said the ox is pursued by a lion, meaning, right? So the ox is chosen in this case, right? The goat by a leopard, and the sheep by a wolf. Do not bring offering from the pursuers, from this wild animal, but from the pursuit. Very interesting. Okay. So one must refrain. So okay, what do we learn here? One must refrain from assisting in a feud, lest Hashem hold him accountable for a harm caused by the other party. Rather than anticipate the glory of triumph when the sides emerge victorious, let him instead picture the shame and retribution that may be his lot. So of course, it's natural that every sides start a feud. So of course they think that they're going to win, right? And the other side is going to fall, right? But it's not always the case. So one more time, one must refrain from assisting in a feud. So about this machlokes, be trying to stay away, lest Hashem hold him accountable for the hunt, for the hurt caused by the other parties. So if, like meaning, if Hashem said, okay, because of you joined, so now it's going to be your fault. Very interesting. So meaning your fault in insulting somebody else. So now. Wherever the leader of this group has a big support, so now he feels more confident, and now he trying to he insults other party. Rather than anticipate the glory of triumph when his side emerges victorious, let him instead picture the shame and retribution that he may be his lot, right? Maybe his lot. So just imagine that you're going to lose. And how you're going to feel. So many people, like especially people with low self-esteem, they do not want to even to battle, because why? Because they might lose. So I mean, they try not to start anything, because why? Like because they might lose. And it's very, very bad. It's not the right approach, right? So even though like sometimes you start something, so you might fall. Maybe it's going to succeed, maybe not going to succeed. Okay, you just try. Very interesting, right? But in this case, imagine that you're going to fall, and your side is going to fall, and you're going to be humiliated. One who scrupulously avoids dispute is surely honored by the others, As it is written, it is an honor for a man to refrain from quarreling. It's from Mishlei 20, verse 3. Right, one more time. It is honor for the man to refrain from quarreling. So meaning Hashem is going to send this person special blessing, right? So the people would like him. Very interesting, and honor him. The Medrash comments in Yalkut Hamechiri, Mishlei 26:14. If in personal dignity demands that one refrain from becoming involved in a personal feud, then certainly it depends that one to avoid becoming entangled in someone else's feud. Of those who take the opposite path, Scripture states, like someone who grabs hold of the dog's ears in passerby, who become involved in quarrel in his own. Okay. So let's see this piece again. We're going to explain. So again, the Medrash said, if personal dignity demands one refrain from becoming involved in a personal dispute. So dignity meaning that somebody would insult some very important person. So he's not going to step down on the level on this guy and this lady and going to insult them back. So it's below his dignity, right? Then certainly it is dependent that one avoid becoming entangled in someone else's feud. So if you're not would not do it for you, so for sure don't join with others. Of those who take the opposite path, meaning that they Scripture states, like someone who writes opposite path and they get involved in dispute, like someone who grabs hold of the dog's ears. Is a passerby who becomes involved in a quarrel not his own, right? So go get grabs the dog's ears. I think the dog is going to jump on him, not your own dog, but somebody else's dog, right? Strange dog. They would not like. I think it's very sensitive area, right? So they would jump, right? So he said this. It's from Shalom HaMelech, since same as the passerby. Like, what is your business? Just leave him alone. It's a crazy dog. Okay, commentary. The man who grabs hold of dog's ears has only himself to blame for the bite that is sure to come. Rashi. Okay, so no dogs was standing there, mind his own business, and the person came near, grabbed his ears, got bitten. So who is he's only himself to blame. Very interesting. Stop here. Very good expression. Any questions on what we said? Okay, no problem. So we continue. We're starting today new chapter, number 6, and topic extracting liquids, schita. One of the 29 Avos Melachas is dash, threshing, a process by which wheat kernel was extracted from the surrounding chaff. A talada, a subcategory of this melacha, is schita, squeezing out the liquid from the item in which it is absorbed. The melacha of threshing and schita are forbidden on Yom Tov, just as they're forbidden on Shabbos, with some minor differences. Okay, so before we continue, let's try to understand. So in the Mishkan, so all of these 29 melachas, they connected to Mishkan, right? To this tabernacle, temporary base, the temporary temple that we had in the desert. And then after we went to Eretz Israel, also for many years we had this temple, right? So one of the jobs was done is to prepare dyes, right? To dye the skins, to dye the wool for paroches, for clothing, right? So it's very interesting. So in order to extract the dye, you have to squeeze take the seed out of the chaff. And same with the bread. They also need bread, right? I'm not sure. It's very interesting question. Bread. These 12 breads was real bread or from manna? I think it was real bread. I think it was real bread. Okay. So anyway, in order to make bread, so you have to thresh it. Again, same idea. So you take something from inside of something else. So and you're interested in what is inside. So subcategory talada. So if you imagine, like Shabbos is like I don't know, like a tree, right? A tree have very thick branches. So these branches is 29 branches. Melacha, and from this branch on the tree they have many other branches. So these subcategories are called taladas. So taladas, it's like similar idea. I mean, of course, they express very differently, but similar idea. So when you squeeze something from liquid, from something that was absorbed in, so it's this talada of threshing. Okay, subcategory of threshing. And that is why also applied not only to food but to other things, right? Of course, the famous example is a sponge, right? Why we're not allowed to wash the dishes. Let's say you have warm water from before Shabbos, let's say, or you want to wash the dishes with a cold water. There is no problem, right? If of course if you're allowed to wash the dishes, as we spoke before. So you would not be allowed to wash it with a sponge because it's only a matter of time when you're going to squeeze, or some rag or some like paper towel. For sure you're going to squeeze. So that's forbidden. Okay. Continue. Of course, in like squeezing lemon or something. Okay. I mean, we're going to see. In some cases, it is allowed, like lemon. Number 1, the prohibition of schita. Under the melacha of schita, it is forbidden to press fruit or vegetable in order to extract the juices. It is also prohibited to squeeze out liquid that has been absorbed in any food item, like a wine absorbed in a challah. So there is I don't know, it was common among some people. They like to dip challah into their glass and eat like a glass of wine and eat like that. I don't know. I never done it. For me, it does not look very, I don't know, appetizing. Like especially with a guest and it drips like all over. Some people are talking around the table and he's speaking and looking in one direction, and this piece of challah with wine dripping. I don't know, it's a little beyond me, but that's what people do. I mean, when you put this piece into your mouth, there is no problem. So you eat like that. So it's not squeezing, right? But squeeze like extra wine from this piece of challah would be a problem. Continue. Or some people dip cake or some cookies in there. No, cookies, that's not a good example. Cake, right? Some sponge cake or something into coffee. So that would be also a good example. So you're not allowed to squeeze. Okay. A, squeezing fruit and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are divided into 3 categories with regard to schita. So mostly, okay, no, not everybody like would like dip the challah into the wine, but many people would squeeze the vegetables, right? If you want to make your own vegetable juice, fruit juice. So 3 categories, and one is olive and grapes. So why is olive and grapes? Let me see. Okay, he's going to explain. Forget it. Okay, so he's going. Number 2, other fruits, vegetables commonly juiced. So olive and grapes are a separate category. It's actually biblical because they're considered to be fruits. Fruit is, meaning wine is a fruit, right? And olive oil is a fruit. All other juices not considered to be fruit. They considered to be sweat of the fruit, not the fruit itself. Okay. So category number 2, other fruits and vegetables commonly juiced. I guess apples, right? These what is it? Oranges, other things. Okay. Number 3, fruits and vegetables that are not commonly juiced. So banana. Usually people, I don't know, maybe they do, but I don't think you can squeeze too much juice from banana or some other things, right? Okay, category number 1, explanation, the olives and grapes. Under the biblical law, the prohibition of schita with regard to the foods applies only to olive and grapes. So olive and grapes, you have to be very, very careful. So if you eat like pickled olive or something, right? These two fruits are distinctive in that the primary use in their juice form, there is olive and wine. So in fruits and vegetables, right, and it is a primary form and primary way of eating and secondary way, right? So and here is a good example. Most of the olives are grown for olive oil, not for eating. Majority, right? And same with grapes. Of course, yeah, you sell grapes, but it's not so easy to preserve them, and wine is much more expensive, of course, than the grapes. Okay, and easier to preserve. Okay, so most of the grapes are grown actually for wine, not for the grapes as a fruit. That's why, so according to biblical law, so this olive oil and wine considered to be fruits. Fruit in double quotes, meaning the most important part. Therefore, the juices have a special significance, not to share by other juices, which render the prohibition of the juices subject to the biblical prohibition of schita. So from grape. So don't play with a piece of grape and squeeze the juice. Don't do it on Shabbos or Yom Tov. That would be like practical example for us. Okay. Number 2, other fruits and vegetables commonly juiced. There are other fruits and vegetables whose juice are not their primary form of use, but which are nevertheless commonly squeezed to produce juice. For example, such a food are oranges, apples, grapefruits, pineapples, and tomatoes. So of course, most of the people would eat oranges as they are, but still, it's very common to drink the orange juice as well. Apples as well, grapefruits, okay, pineapples, and so etc. Tomatoes. So it's not primary form, but the secondary. So it's second category, the fruits and vegetables that commonly juiced. Commonly. Continue. These foods are the subject of the prohibition of schita by rabbinical decree. Rabbinic decree. Number 3, the fruits and vegetables that are not usually juiced. Fruits and vegetables not usually juiced. Okay. Fruits and vegetables that are not commonly made into the juices are exempt from the prohibition of schita, even on rabbinic level. This may be pressed on Shabbos and Yom Tov, even with a specific intent or extracted juices. This category excludes melons and similar foods whose juices are not commonly used. Okay. Includes. I'm sorry, I said exclude. Okay. So one more time. Fruits and vegetables that are not commonly made into juice exempt from this prohibition. Meaning that you can squeeze, or if it's like squeezed by itself, so you can drink this juice. So we see with others, there is a second category. If you squeeze or squeeze by itself, so you would not be able to drink this juice until after Shabbos. So we'll see. Okay, so schita. One second. The whole sentence. Fruits and vegetables that are not commonly made into juice are exempt from the prohibition of schita, even on rabbinic level. So meaning that you're allowed to squeeze. How much you're going to squeeze from this? Not much. Right? This is may be pressed on Shabbos, on Yom Tov. Even the specific intent to extract juices. So that's also very important point. So when somebody asked the question, I don't remember last week or 2 weeks ago, was the difference if the action is made anyway. So we said that it's a huge difference. If in order to get the death penalty, if somebody did this milah on a biblical level, so he had to have intention that that's what he wants to do. So if somebody did it unwittingly, like it's not, a person is not going to get death penalty or punishment. Okay. So here in third category, we say that even a person had intention, there is no problem, he can do it. Squeeze from the third category. This category includes melons. So I mean, of course, there is some juice from melons, but very negligible. And similar foods whose juices are not commonly used. Commentary. Whether or not the particular fruit or vegetable is classed as one that is not commonly used, so in double quotes, depends on the contemporary practices of the people. Any fruit or the vegetable that become vogue to juice falls under the restriction of shita. So now they decided to squeeze melons, okay, right? Watermelons, melons. So now it's going to go from a category of number 3 to category number 2. So okay, so it's when it's one of the situations when we have to take into consideration the local practice and what people do today. B, extracting liquids absorbed in foods. So now it's only absorbed, meaning it was foreign liquid, right, and absorbed into the food. And what to do? Foods that had absorbed foreign liquids. So here we go. For example, challah dipped in wine, also subject to shita. Right. So what category? Of course, not first category. I would say maybe second category. Right. So we have to be very careful. Okay. Okay, any questions before we continue? We'll finish with that section. Anyone? Okay, no problem. So we continue with section number 2. It says condition under which shita is permitted. So as we said in the introduction, in most of the aspects, Yom Tov here is very similar to Shabbos, but there are some differences. Okay, some leniencies on Yom Tov, because as we said before, on Yom Tov you're allowed to prepare the food from the beginning. It's not like on Shabbos we said no, it have to be cooked in order to continue cooking, and we said how much is cooked, and then we said this guy Ben Drusai, meaning what, there's a thief that was running around and people were chasing him. And he was, this poor guy, he had only time to cook the food, like the minimum amount of eatability. So which is what? So our sages debated maybe 1/3 or one half. Of course, we're trying to go by more stricter opinion, 1/2, right? So if your food is already to 1/2 of the time that it requires to cook, for example, it requires to cook 2 hours, let's say, whatever is it, and you already cooked 1 hour before Shabbos, so you can leave on a fire, on a blech on Shabbos, so it continue cooking, or at least meaning it was edible to a certain degree before Shabbos, and then you just continue, like you just improving it. Okay, or 1/3 is more like lenient opinion. Okay, but here on Yom Tov, so you can start cooking from the beginning. There is no problem, even from this shkita. Okay. So let's see. Condition under which shkita is permitted. There are certain circumstances in which shkita is permitted. With respect to Shabbos, this condition permits shkita only in regard to food other than grapes and olives. With respect to Yom Tov, however, even grapes and olives may be squeezed under these conditions. The conditions are, okay, so stop here and let's try to understand. So we're going into exception, meaning under what circumstances we can do shkita. and we said on Shabbos you can do two categories, meaning the fruits that are commonly squeezed, right, and fruits or vegetables that not squeezed, right? But of course there is some restrictions, at least to the second category. Okay. But on Yom Tov you can do even the first category, meaning olives and grapes, so which is biblically forbidden. But these are three conditions. And on Shabbos as well, we're going to see. A, enhance the food being squeezed. Enhance the food being squeezed. So meaning some liquids absorb. So some people, it's not healthy. All of this, people do deep fry some things, right? Like latkes or something. Like too much oil, so and then they put on a paper towel, so the paper towel will absorb the extra oil. That's not good. So basically in some cases people will squeeze extra liquid from that, extra oil. Okay, so it's a B, squeezing liquids into solid foods. So squeeze liquids into the solid foods, that I would say is the most practical one. Right? For example, what would be example? You want to do tea with lemon, right? And you want to squeeze lemon. So you cannot squeeze just lemon into your cup. But what you can do, if you pour some sugar, put sugar on the bottom of the or put lemon. Let's say maybe it's easy. Put lemon on the bottom of your cup. Put a lot of sugar and squeeze like lemon with a teaspoon, and the sugar would absorb the lemon juice. So that would be allowed, right? Or another way, if you squeeze some people like salmon with with lemon juice. So if you want, so since salmon is going to absorb this lemon juice, and it's going to improve the taste of the salmon, so that's in this case you would be allowed. Okay. And the third condition is sucking. So if you put some piece of in your mouth, whatever is it, orange, and you just suck the juice, or lemon, right? So you just suck the juice, no problem. Okay, because it's like a way of eating. So and it's not visible. Like even though you separate, of course, you separate juice from the fruit itself, but it's not visible. So it's in your mouth. Okay. So now we're going to go into these conditions one by one. A, enhance the food. It is permissible to squeeze a liquid out of the food in order to enhance the flavor. For example, right? So you try to improve. It's opposite to what we said in the second category about lemon. So with the lemon, you're trying to improve something else with this lemon juice. But here, in this first category, you're trying to improve something when you squeeze out the liquid. Okay. For example, one is permitted to squeeze excess oil out of the tuna can. Out of the canned tuna. So okay, so if you don't like this oil for whatever reason, you just want, like, it's too much oil. Of course, it's oil was added for preservation. So right, so you want without oil. Okay, no problem. Right. Likewise, it is permitted to squeeze excess oil from latkes. So that's not good. I mean, that's very not healthy. Right. If you can squeeze oil, that's very bad. Fried fish or kugel, right? Also fried fish. So try not to all this oily food, as Rambam said, it's not good. Continue on Shabbos. It is permitted only to squeeze only if squeezing is done only immediately prior to eating. Okay, so on Shabbos, since there are some authorities who would say not to do it, right? But since if it's to improve the food, to improve your enjoyment of Shabbos, so the one who rule leniently, so that they want to go like in a middle way, and they say prior to eating. right? Because such a squeezing involves additional prohibition of borer. So borer, what is borer? So borer is a sorting, right? So when you separate something that you don't like from what you like, so that's like second issue. So schita is one issue and separating is another issue. Okay, continue. On Yom Tov, however, borer is permitted for the sake of the food preparation. See chapter 7. Okay, it's next chapter. Squeezing, so borer, just before we continue. Borer means what? That you want selecting, sorting is allowed when you take good from bad. No problem whatsoever. So what is not allowed is bad from good. So the most common classic example would be, so you have a cluster of grapes and you see that few grapes are actually spoiled. Right? So you're not allowed to take the spoiled grapes, but you have to take only fresh one and eat fresh one and leave those alone, the bad ones. Okay. So good from bad, there is no problem. Bad from good, not allowed. But on Yom Tov, there is another leniency, and you allowed actually to take bad from good, like with the instruments. So on Shabbos, say you're not allowed to use special instruments, but on Yom Tov there is no problem. Okay. So 1 second. So let's do the whole sentence. On Yom Tov, however, when borer is permitted, so borer is selected, permitted for the sake of food preparation. Squeezing of this type is permitted at any time during the day, as long as the food item is being prepared for that day use. Okay. So you can do it any time during the day. So I'm not sure why would we say before the yes. Oh no. Okay, on Shabbos it's only right before eating. So you're allowed to squeeze the liquid out to improve the food, right? But on Yom Tov, so borer is permitted, so you can do any time during the day. Again, only for that day. Continue. B, squeezing liquids into solid foods. So that's how sugar into lemon juice into sugar. There are circumstances in which one is permitted to squeeze out liquid from food when one's intention is to obtain liquid. This is where the liquid is squeezed directly into solid foods, meaning that majority is going to get absorbed. Thus, it is permitted. However, only one is following two conditions present. Okay, so again, liquids onto the solid foods, two conditions. Number one, the liquids is being used to flavor the solid food into which it falls. So meaning, again, it's you're trying to improve that solid food. Okay, so like this example, salmon and lemon juice. Okay. Number two, most of the liquid are absorbed into solid food. So that's very important. So I'm not sure, like I never did like lemon on salmon. I don't like it. But some people do. I'm not sure how much salmon is going to absorb this lemon. I have no idea. Okay, but everybody knows about the lemon juice. The lemon juice, if you put in a cup, like I don't know, two spoons of sugar, and you squeeze the lemon, all of it is going to be absorbed. No problem. Okay. Continue. It is forbidden, however, to squeeze liquid onto another liquid, even for flavoring. So that's a big one. So basically on Shabbos, you would not be, or Yom Tov now we're going to learn, you would not be do lemonade, right? You would like squeeze lemon into water or something. Okay. To illustrate, number one may squeeze lemon juice directly onto fish as flavoring. Okay, that's as we said with our salmon. There is no problem. Again, to condition to improve this fish, and that most of the juice are going to get absorbed. So meaning what? You cannot squeeze too much. Continue. One may squeeze lemon juice into tea. One may not. One may not squeeze lemon juice into tea, meaning liquid into the liquid. However, one may squeeze the juice into the spoonful of sugar, provided that most of the juice absorbed by the sugar. Okay, so liquid to liquid is never allowed, right? But into the some like solids, because sugar is a solid and it's going to absorb, no problem. Okay, continue. And number 3, we said the sucking. Sucking juice from fruit is not considered form of schita, right? Except, of course, on Shabbos, in case of grapes and olives. So since it is biblical prohibition of extracting liquids from grapes and olives, so this, as we said before, it's biblical. So you're not allowed to do it even indirectly and stuff like that, even in your mouth. So, but that's the only restriction. Therefore, one may hold wedge of orange or grape and suck it out the juice. Okay. So meaning we're talking about Yom Tov now. It is permissible to dip the challah in wine and suck it. Okay. However, when doing so, one should be careful to avoid squeezing out the liquid by hand. So as we said, to put it in your mouth, you can. I'm not sure what is it. Why would somebody do that? I mean, some pieces of challah are going to float in your wine cup of wine. I don't know. Okay. Number 3, like section number 3, juices that seeped out. So before we continue, any questions before we continue? Actually, yes. Okay.
Say you were pouring out the lemon on top of the fish and a seed fell out. Would you be allowed to move the seed off of the main dish?
I didn't get. Could you say it again? What it was fish and what else was on the plate? Say it again. Sorry.
You have the fish in front of you.
Yes.
And then squeeze the lemon on top of the fish and a seed falls out from the lemon. Would you be allowed to move the seed aside so that you don't have to eat it, or would you have to eat it with the fish, not to avoid separating?
I would say that the more proper to eat it with the fish, but it's not necessary, because it was squeezed for permissible reasons. So now you can continue eating. So it was, if it was technically, that's what I said. I'm not sure how the salmon is absorbent. Right. Of course, we know about challah for sure. You put in. I mean, you can imagine this. So there is, since it's so porous, so it's going to absorb a lot. But salmon, I'm not sure. So of course, not everything is going to get absorbed, but whatever is fall to the side, you can eat, or you can just let it be. Up to you.
And also, for having beer on Shabbat, are you allowed to open the can?
That's a good question. Yeah, there is no problem. Yes. The problem is opening just for everybody. When you have what is it, the soda bottles or a juice, whatever you have, right? You have this ring around under the cup. So when you open for the first time, you break the ring, and that's what our sages say is an issue, right? So you created a vessel that was not there on Shabbos. So it's like one complete vessel. This ring with a cup, right? And when you break off the ring, that's an issue. But we're not going to go into it. But so with this we try. Okay, no, we should go. This you should try not to do. So we try to have a habit. Whatever you're going to eat, drink before Shabbos. So that's what we have on Friday. Friday we put everything on the countertop, right? Like before Shabbos, like 2 hours or so. What we're going to eat this Shabbos? This and that. What are we going to drink? Okay, one juice is not too much to open. So one bottle. So we open everything, wine or whatever we need to open, like all of the containers, whatever packages we open, whatever we need to do, and that's it. So whatever we forgot, it's going to be wait until next Shabbos. Even though there are permissible ways how to open it, but as I said, some suggest, like if you forgot to open this soda bottle, to take a knife or so, or fork and try to push it the ink like over this edge. I mean, that's too much. Unless you're a very careful person, very strong person, you can poke your eye out. So I would say don't do it. Some suggest if you damage the container, the soda, on the bottom, if you make a hole, so that there is no problem. So you can pour from there. But I would say stay away from that. Whatever you need, so be organized person. It's a good quality to train in ourselves to be organized person, and then just open whatever you need before Shabbos. But with beer bottles, if it's squeezed, there is no problem. You don't break anything. So it was two separate things, right? Initially, two separate things: bottle and the cup. The two separate things. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And even if you need to open, open, there is no problem. Just try not to erase the words, but usually you would not. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions before we continue on the topic? Okay, so no problem. So let's continue, do a little more, and let me see how long is this chapter. Okay, so we continue. Section number 3, juices that seeped out. Seeped out meaning by itself, maybe because you put one on top of the other, maybe like this. There is another prohibition related to the principle of schita. To safeguard the prohibition of schita, the sages forbade the consumption on Shabbos or Yom Tov, the juices that discharge on the day by the foods. However, not all fruits and vegetables were included in this prohibition. As in a schita, they were divided into 3 categories. Okay, so now schita is schita meaning that when you do something actively, right? You do the action, and this seeped out meaning that maybe you put one on top of the other and they squeeze each other because of the weight. Maybe okay, but it was passive. Okay, olive. So 3 categories: olive and grapes. Oil that seeps from the olives, and juice that exuded from the grapes on Yom Tov may not be consumed until after Yom Tov. So that's the same on Shabbos. Okay, so meaning that our sages, since it is biblical, they wanted to be us to be very, very careful, even indirectly. So do not benefit that from milacha that was done indirectly. Of course, nobody's blaming you, but of course it's your fault. As we understand, so we have to think two steps forward. What is going to be? For example, juice that collected on the bottom of the bowl of the cut grapes is forbidden to be used until after Shabbos. So I was actually thinking of how much grapes you have to put one on top of the other, but he actually gives us brilliant answer. So if somebody is preparing, for example, fruit salad, and cut the grapes in half, right, or in half they usually cut. So and they did not use all of the grapes, for example, right, and there is or they use a lot of grapes. And there are juice that are from mixing, from adding, I don't know whatever else they added. So this juice would be forbidden, because for sure there is some grape juice as well mixed in that juice. Okay, so just be careful. Okay, continue. So again, only grapes and olives are biblical. B, other foods commonly juiced. With other foods that are commonly juiced, the prohibition consuming juices the seeped out applies only to those fruits and vegetables that are intended for juicing. A fruit which was intended for eating is not subject to this prohibition, and juice that seeps out on Yom Tov may be consumed. So meaning what? So if juice commonly fruits that commonly juice, as we said, it was like orange, right? This, I don't know, what is it, like apple or something. But I think orange is a very good example. So you cut orange, right? So you wash the orange, and you cut. You didn't peel it. You cut like this. When you cut your orange, so for sure, like from your knife, like a few drops would come out. So this, since right, so these drops like of orange juice would be allowed to drink in this case, specific case. Right, but if you like squeeze the orange because of your own juice, it would not be allowed, of course. Okay, so again, if it's by itself, when you cut it or something, or another example, I would say like you have a fruit salad. No, forget. You had this salad, right? Garden salad, with tomatoes, right? And you add whatever mayo or whatever the dressing you add it, and of course some juice would come out of tomatoes. So I think it's also a good example. So this juice, there is no problem. You are intended to make a salad, and because if you mix, because you press a little these vegetables while you're mixing, so some juice came out, no problem whatsoever. So it's category number 2. Category number 3, foods that are not commonly juiced. Foods that are not commonly juiced, not usually used for juicing. Okay, sorry. Are exempt from this prohibition. So I mean, you can do. Just as they exempt from the prohibition of schita. So I mean, if they exempt from prohibition of schita, which is directly, so needless to say, they would be excluded from indirectly. Okay. Any juice that oozes from these foods on Yom Tov may be consumed. So, for example, you're cutting your melon, right? And there is some juice, so there is no problem. You can drink this juice. Okay. So, summary of the laws. Okay. Prohibition of schita. So, schita again is squeezing. Squeezing liquid that is trapped in some salads. Separate the liquids from salad. Under prohibition of schita, it is forbidden to extract juice of many fruits and vegetables and to squeeze liquids out from the food items in which it has been absorbed, such as bread, right? So this challah that absorbed the wine. Okay, right? Okay. Continue. Actually, one more time, just to make sure. Under the prohibition of schita, it is forbidden to extract the juice of many fruits and vegetables. Many meaning, what is it? This first category meaning grapes and olives, and second category this fruits that vegetables that are commonly juiced. Okay. And some things in which, some food items in which the liquids were trapped. Okay, continue. Fruits and vegetables, they're divided in 3 categories in regarding schita. Number 1, olives and grapes are subject to the schita under biblical law, so that's very careful. Okay, number 2, other fruits. So but if you have just grapes and you're not going to squeeze it unless you like squeeze it. Juice is not going to come out. Okay. Second category, fruits and vegetables that are commonly juiced are subject to schita by rabbinic decree. Okay. And number 3, fruits and vegetables that are not usually juiced are exempt from the prohibition. So let me check time quickly. Second. Okay, I think we can stop here. Continue next time. So it's very, very, very practical topic. I mean, all of them practical, but this is very commonly applied. Okay. Any questions on what we said? Okay. Any questions in general? Go ahead. Any topic. Yes.
I was wondering in Haloshon Noah chapter 9 verse 7, Hashem is speaking to Noah's family and says, "And you be fruitful and multiply, teem on the earth and multiply on it." And in the commentary to verse 7, Rashi says it is a commandment to procreate. So I was wondering why this commandment was not included in the 7 white laws.
But it was a circumstantial commandment. He was the only person alive and his family. So unless they would take this seriously, so the world is not going to continue. You understand? So there is some commandments that like pertaining for that time. That's the answer. Okay, very good question. Very good question. What else?
And there's a question on the board as well.
Okay. So one second, let if it's on the board, let Daniel read. Daniel, can you read for us, please?
Daniel said he couldn't read today.
Oh, he cannot read. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Shalom, are we allowed to squeeze tea bag on Yom Tov?
Oh, that's even on Shabbos you're not allowed. Yeah, well, on Shabbos, of course. So what is it's a brilliant question. This tea bag is a filter. So it is it is a filter, right? And you squeeze in liquid from the salad leaves, exactly as we said right now. So it's like a challah. So we said example challah deep in wine. Everybody understand it. But same concept is a tea bag. So a tea bag has a tea, like that's a favorite part to suck this tea bag. when nobody sees, right? So you have this tea bag and a liquid tea trap inside, and you try to suck out or squeeze. Of course, it's not allowed. And just so you know, there is some misunderstanding of some people, though the halacha is very clear. The halacha is different between Ashkenazim and Sephardim. So Rabbi Ovadia Zatzal, as I understand, so he allowed tea bags to be used in what is it? I think in a third vessel, right? So meaning you pour the water from your tea kettle, from your urn, right, into a cup, and then from that cup onto the tea bag, right, and you can make a tea. So that's according to Sephardi custom. According to Ashkenazi custom, it's not allowed. So it's one of the two exceptions. Okay, well, maybe there are 2 or 3 exceptions of the things that are going to cook very fast. Meaning, and one of them is a tea bag. So what I would suggest say, so if it's the temperature of the water is hot, like above Yatzalat Esbo, like when you hand recall, so it's going to cook, even though it's a tertiary vessel or 10th vessel, that doesn't matter. So we don't do that. So Ashkenazi custom is not to use bags, so we do tea essence, right? So you prepare, you can put the bags. You have like this ceramic pot, right? A teapot. You put like, I don't know, 5-10 bags, whatever, and it's this liquid is very strong. So you put water and then add some this of the essence. There is no problem. You can drink the tea, whatever you want on Shabbos. So of course you prepare everything before Shabbos. Okay. Just make sure to do it in a third cup. Always. Why? Because if you have a very hot water, and this hot water may cook your cold tea essence. So, but when we say tertiary vessel, it does not apply. Right? So it's only can cook in the first 2 vessels. Okay. So meaning third, meaning first vessel in what the water was warm up. Second vessel you pour from that into a cup, and the third vessel in the second cup. That's a kli shlishi. Okay. So we say, so according to Ashkenazi custom, it's not going to cook in a third vessel. Okay. What else? Okay, go ahead, John.
in the Akeda, immediately after the Akeda, when there's the blessings, there's a section that says, "May you go beyond the letter of the law for us and deal with us, O Hashem our God." And I was wondering, isn't the three-step process so that we could elevate ourselves so that we're judged as a new person, and that Hashem isn't able to go beyond the law that He set?
Okay, so in this case, it's a very good question. So in this case, so we said, Hashem, look what Yitzchak did. So he went beyond of the law. So no, it's not, okay. You're not obligated to give up your life. So, okay, somebody, even your father wants to kill you because he wants to be a holy man. Okay, let the father kill the goat or something. Don't kill me. You understand? So Yitzchak was not under any obligation to sacrifice himself, but he understood the occasion, and he rose up to occasion, and he said, okay, that's what would make my Hashem happy, even though I do not understand. So some people, I have this, unfortunately, this secular mentality, this secular education. So I had this person, this lady, she had a lot of educations and she was very smart. So she said, unless I know everything in details, I cannot do. And that's how she was trained. She's like in a science. She's a scientist. You understand? So, and she was like, unless, but to go to know the laws of Shabbos in all of the details, I don't know. If you ask me if I know all of the laws of Shabbos in details, I would say absolutely not. I know many of them, but do I remember all of the details? Not. I know many, but there is many intricate details, many situations that we don't cover. Like it's like exceptional situation. Okay. So if we would wait until we know all of the laws, it's never going to happen. You understand? So the mind of the Jew, okay, I know this part. I know that I cannot light the light on Shabbos, fire. Okay, I'm going to start with that. So my observance Shabbos is going to be whatever I know. I know I cannot squeeze the tea bag. Okay, so I'm not going to squeeze the tea bag. Of course I desecrate many other things, so I desecrate many other things. So I'm going to get to them. I'm just starting out. You understand? So same concept is here with Yitzchak, right? So he said, I do not understand. Hashem, look, my holy father had this vision that that's what needs to be done, and he was truthful person all his life. So if I need to be a sacrifice, I'm going to be sacrificed. So he went, in this sense, he went beyond the letter of the law. Nobody is required to die unless three cardinal sins, but he was not a Jew at that point. So he was not obligated to die, especially since that's what idol worshippers did, right? They sacrificed their children. And Abraham and Sarah were fighting all their life for the people to stop sacrificing their children. And now Hashem said, Abraham, take your son. Take your only son, the son that you love Yitzchak. So we have to understand, when you fight for a cause and you have a leader, Hashem, right? And he tells you that's you're good. You continue doing, Abraham, continue inspired all the people. And then he said, take your own son. So just think about how many of us would pass this test, right? And all the people will surround the mountain and say, listen, you Abraham, you're a hypocrite, right? You told us for 50 years not to do that, right? Or how many years? And now that's what you do. You're doing yourself. So you're a hypocrite. We sacrifice to our idols. You sacrifice to your God. What is the difference? You understand? So that's beyond the letter of the law. Abraham said, I'm going to do. Hashem said, I'm going to do. Do I understand? Absolutely not. And the beauty of being a simple Jew, right? It's not so simple to be a simple Jew, right? So say, I'm simple Jew. I say, it's not so simple. Right? So to be a simple Jew is Hashem says we do. You don't need to understand. When we bless with understand, we're going to bless and we do first and then we learn. So that's our approach. Yeah, go ahead. What else?
Thank you. There's another question on the board.
Yeah, okay.
Shalom Urav. Can one violate land laws that are permissible in Torah? For example, some countries have national firewalls to block information from other countries. Is one allowed to use VPN to break through the firewall?
So the law of the country is not to, so it's firewall, country, the company or country?
Country. Like the country prevents
country, yeah. I mean, it could be like, it's a very good question. It's not such an easy question. So if you live in that country, you have to abide by the laws of the country, unless they go against the laws of the Torah. So if they say, for example, they want to keep secrets. So for example, I don't know, like I'm not big VPN specialist, even though I used to use VPN. So maybe, of course, VPN is a point-to-point contact, right? So maybe there is somebody took over that facility, and they're going to penetrate through my VPN, through open link, and they're going to do some damage. I don't know. So that's what country I had in mind, the way I understand, and they say absolutely not. You're not allowed to go through the fire. But somebody, like on us, somebody build this link through the fire. It's not like you breaking in, right? I don't know. So I would say don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because again, it does not contradict the laws of the Torah. If something like they would say against the Torah, yes, you would not be allowed to do this. But since you live in the country, you have to respect their laws. Okay, so especially taxes. So people don't like to pay taxes. Me neither. But you want to live in this country, pay the taxes. You don't like the laws, so you think they're crazy, they're greedy, this and that. Okay, go to another place. Nobody's stopping you. Okay, what else?
Hello?
Yes.
Sorry, I was actually working and I'm in a cab right now, going back home. Okay. I was listening to this last question, and I was wondering, so would it be against the halacha to, let's say, work illegally in a country that we're not allowed to work at?
So I mean, see the way I see it, right? So when you do something illegal in a country, so you put your life in danger. So some country crazy, you VPN, as you said, to I don't know, to Germany, to France, whatever. So they're going to come to you and say that you're a spy. You sold all of the secrets. Okay, go prove whatever that you were checking your emails on your company server. Let's say, right? So they're going to make a big deal out of you and put you 20 years in prison or maybe kill you in some crazy countries. So you put your life in danger? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So when it's about Torah matters is one thing, but here is nothing to do with the Torah. You understand? So you put yourself in the harm's way. Of course, the country that they're looking for the spies, for this penetration. It's it's not like sleeping. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So what about countries like the United States that in case someone gets caught working illegally, the worst case scenario, the person just get deported? Does it still apply to countries like this?
I think so, yes. So unless a person have no choice, and he cannot stay in that country, wherever, if he's going to go back to his country, they're going to kill him. They're going to do many bad things to him. So he has no choice, and he has no papers in the United States, let's say, right? And then he life risks to go back. So of course he would be allowed to work. I mean, because he has to leave. Right, so when there's a choice between life and death, so of course we choose life. I'm going to break the country law, so I'm going to break the country law, but it has to be to minimal amount. Right. Okay. Yes, welcome. What else?
I don't know if
if someone got to read the question that was on WhatsApp, I guess.
Okay, please check. Yes, I think I saw, but I don't remember. Yes, what was it, please?
Yeah, I got it right here. It goes, the concept of counting merits confuses me. If
Well,
it is
sorry,
our obligation,
apologize. The concept of what? I didn't get it.
counting merits.
Okay. From yesterday, counting minutes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes. It's in relation to question that was made yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept of counting merits confuses me. It is our obligation to do mitzvahs and not to receive benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't counting merits clash with the obligation to do the mitzvah without benefit?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, all right. It's a very good question. So we have to clarify. So the question was asked yesterday. I don't remember 100% how the question went, but the main idea is it allowed to count merits just to see how your day went, right? How did I do? Look, compared today with yesterday, like with 7 days ago, like with a month ago. So that's what I every day, me personally, even several times a day, I look at our statistics in our YouTube channel. How do we perform? And it says it has like 7 days performance, 28 days performance, 90 days, 365 days, and you can do every video performance. So that's how you grow. That's how you analyze. You see what worked, what did not work. So okay, so same lechavdol, same with this merits. So if person is one day he or she does 10 mitzvahs and even the subconscious, you understand today was a bad day. I failed. So, but if you would keep the records, so I did this and that, right? So it's not counting. So it's just writing down for your own encouragement. And then you see Wednesday, I did not do anything at all. So of course you were like absent-minded, like your mind was somewhere else and involved in other issues. But still, I did not do any mitzvahs. So, but when you write down, so of course, as we said yesterday, it's for self-encouragement, it's for constructive purpose. Absolutely, it's not like you count how many rewards, because anyway we don't know the rewards. So only for a few mitzvahs you know the rewards, but it's for self-accounting to stay on track. Because what? Because it's a hara is going to try to confuse you, for sure. That's what the answer. So it's not like boast. Yeah, I'm so good, right? You're trying to see that you're stable or going up. Right? Stable on one level and then go up, but don't go down. Or if you went down. So you understand Wednesday or Tuesday was a very down day. So you have to analyze what happened. Oh, you know what? I overslept and then I ran to work and then this happened. Why? And you say, okay, why I overslept? Because I was talking to this my friend on the phone and I thought I was going to encourage them, but to keep Torah and mitzvahs, at least listen to the movie, listen to the lecture, watch the movie, and guess what? You spend 3 hours on the phone and nothing happened. They just need attention. Some people need attention. So somebody like text me. I get this text every day. Can I call you? I say absolutely not. What? Like leave me a message. Just think about message. I'm not usually. I'm not responding right away. So you have like some people. One person had 12 deleted messages. I'm not sure what was there. But you have to time to retract. So maybe this issue was resolved. Maybe it was not important. Maybe it was I don't know what happened there. Those messages I'm going to ask later. But you have time when you're on the phone. Like you don't have this like clarity of mind when you're not pressed to answer. Right, when you have 1 hour, 2 hours, 7 hours, 2 days to answer. So there's no problem. So it's much better communication. So right, so you spend this 2-3 hours for nothing. Next day you overslept because you did not sleep your normal amount, and it brought the whole day down. So that's you're counting your merits. Yes, it's for self-accounting. It's very good. Yes, Hishbon Nefesh, that's called accounting of the soul. Go ahead. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
I was wondering, how can we actually identify this thin line between using this self-accounting of merits in order to keep on the right track, and how to spot like the thin line when we are actually feeding our ego, when we're actually like, I don't know, feeding our evil inclination and thinking too much of ourselves. How can we spot this thin line?
Okay, so the Talmud in the Pesachim said, but when you say we started doing mitzvahs for not for the mitzvah's sake, don't stop person. Let him do or let her do for not for the mitzvah's sake, because not for the Torah's sake, right? Because at the end it's going to he or she is going to do it for the Torah's sake. Okay, he just left. Okay, no problem. So what is it, John? What does it mean? That even a person feels himself very good about it, there is no problem. So you just continue to, if that's what Yitzchak Avinu wants from you, right, to feel proud that you advance. So well, let you feel proud. Let you feel proud. Let's if it's what you need to continue learning Torah, that's do. And eventually, of course, the more you learn, the more if you learn the right amount of the Torah, it's going to direct you, and you're going to do the same, but for the sake of heaven, purely. That's it. So whatever encourage you to do things, do it. Right? As Rambam clearly said that you're allowed to bribe children, right? And women, women were not as educated as today. So all of your family members, you're allowed to bribe whatever you need. So they like this pizza. So what they do, let them do something good, and you buy them pizza. Like ice cream, buy ice cream. He wants this toy, okay. If he completes this and that, so buy them the toy. Wife, she does checking of the vegetables as you told her 17 times. Okay, she did it. You saw it, so you have to encourage. Buy her some present. You understand? Is a bribe 100% bribe, but it's bribe a holy bribe. That's what we must do. You understand? And we have to bribe ourselves, right? I learned. You see how much I learned? Okay, let me see. I learned 12 pages of this book and 2 pages of that book and 7 pages of that book for one day. That for me it's amazing. It's a lot. So I'm feeling good. So that's good. That's a good feeling. Continue. And all of the clowns of the years who said, no, you have to do out of love. So they on level 0 for 20 years. Level 0. So I would say 0.1. No, absolutely 0. Understand? So don't listen to all the people who know you have to let them, because Hashem he loves you. He loves us, but we continue to do whatever we do. Understand? So don't wait until you're on this level of Rabbi Shimon Baricha. Maybe you're never going to be. Maybe never of understanding Hashem as Yitzchak did. Okay, but still we will continue to do. Okay, what else?
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
I have another question in regards to Yom Tov, but I don't know if someone else has a question too.
Well, it doesn't look like it, but okay, go ahead. Right line. Go ahead.
Is one allowed to use a fire or benefit from a fire that originated accidentally through Yom Tov? For example, I don't know, someone left like a magnifying glass on the backyard, and something caught fire because of the sun going through it or whatever. And are we allowed to use that fire that originated accidentally during Yom Tov?
It's a good question. So if it's so you did not create this fire, even though you're allowed to make your fire from pre-existing fire. So this magnifying glass, it's a very good question. What I'm going to say, it's just my guess. I never learned this, never heard. Maybe I did, but I do not remember. I would say there is no problem. But that's only my logical guess. So it's again, and not halacha. That's how I guess. Yeah. What else?
Thank you very much, Carlos.
You're welcome.
We have another question on the board. It says, thank you, Kabbalah. Could Kabbalah please teach us about dyeing and making coffee on Shabbos?
Dyeing, or the dyeing may mean to change the color?
Yes, I guess. Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's a very good question. So dyeing is one of the milachas that not allowed on Shabbos, and if I remember correctly, we're not allowed to wound ourselves, right? Why? Because the blood is going to change the color or whatever. If you put like a piece of napkin or something, like a paper towel to you cut yourself, so it's going to like dye this this object, which is not allowed. So and it was milacha in the desert, right, in the Mishkan, that we did. The dyes, what does it mean dye? Dye meaning they would cut the wool from all of the sheep, right? It was like, well, one sheep is white, one sheep is black, one sheep is brown, one sheep has a spots. So of course the wool was not universal. So they dyed first to make white, like a universal white, and then they would dye into different colors, different red or other colors, whatever they did. Okay. So that's milach of dyeing. And our sages say that it does not apply to foods in general, right? So it does not apply to food in general, but there are some exception. An exception is fancy schmancy people, right? They have they call it center dish, right? Some like in the center of the table, and sometimes they put like water, right? Water, like it's one dish inside of another dish, like a flowers around, and they put like water and then make the water blue. So with all of the candles, so it actually looks very, very, very nice. But since if you did it, if you color the water before Shabbos, there is no problem. But on Shabbos, it's absolutely not. It's not allowed. You understand? Because it's not for the food purposes. So that's why it's not allowed. But all other coloring, there is no problem. Even though it is true that some poskim say that coloring applies to foods. It is true. And that's why they say, for example, if you want to go according to all of the opinions, that's actually it's a very, very good question. You want to go according to all of the opinions when you're making coffee. So the question was about coffee, right? So you like in some sense we're talking about this instant coffee, right? So in some sense you put this dye, this powder, and that's exactly how you make paints, right? So you put the dyes, right? You put the powder from extract from your plants, and you put water and you cook it, and that's it. You got yourself paint. That's the procedure, right? So our sages say, so if you want to go according to all of the opinions and not to dye water, meaning coffee, right? So what you do first, you pour water, and then you add coffee, right? So because it's opposite, it's not directly as you do dyes, like it's with what's the word I'm looking for? I forgot. Whatever. It's like not the straightforward way, right? So the straightforward way would be like you put the powder on the bottom of container, and you put the pour water as much as you need, because you have to control the water, right? And the amount of the water they pour, and you mix, and then you get yourself paint, and then you cook it, and that's how you make dye. But usually people don't put water and then put the powder. Nobody do that, right? So that's why if you want to go to according to all of the opinions when you're making coffee, it's going to be in a third vessel, third meaning from the kettle, right? From the urn, whatever. It's where the water boiled. Second is a cup, right? And in the second cup, so you first put water, and then you add your instant coffee. That's how you do according to all of the pins. Is it necessary? No, but if you want to, no problem. So like some people won't because they want to like extra merit. Okay, there is no problem. Yes, that's how you do coffee. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Very good questions. Very, very good question.
There's another question our friend just put on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Could we avoid the process by using instant coffee in regards to this question?
No, but the problem was with the coloring. So if instant coffee colors the water, so it's exactly the same. Right. So other coffee is not allowed. We're not allowed to cook this one. The beans. Right. Instant coffee. When we're allowed to make instant coffee on Shabbos. Why? Because these beans were cooked already, completely cooked. You understand? But when you take the raw beans, right? Even though they fry them, but they're still raw. I mean, they fry it on top, but they still raw on top, and that's I mean, inside they're raw, so that's a big issue. So you're cooking the beans. Doesn't matter. You're cooking potatoes or you're cooking coffee beans. What is the difference? Then they are inedible in the current state. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
I had this question from a long time ago, but I don't know. It's gonna sound like a weird question, perhaps, but let's say if a person is praying or the like, doing something. Okay, it would have to be during prayer, and the person kind of gets like a chiddush from something he studied before while he was praying.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way of a sin, especially the guy is, I don't know if the person is right in the middle of the shemoneh or something like that, some very important part of the prayer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a mitzvah in a way of a sin.
That's I would say just say it's a fantastic question. I would say just say that Satan is trying to confuse you during the prayer, as you said. It's the most important prayer. So the shemoneh esrei in our literature, rabbinic literature, is called prayer, tefillah. So I mean, tefillah is any prayer. No, tefillah. When they say tefillah, they mean, of course, our school would add there is a shemoneh esrei, but if you look at Hebrew, it's tefillah. So it's prayer, that prayer, right? So everybody knows shemoneh esrei. So since and as we know, it's like in the middle of the prayer. So you need to start, prepare yourself in the morning. Say psuki de zimra, right? Shema. So you prepare yourself, shemoneh esrei, and then you go valitzon and other things to finish off, right? So it's tachnun, of course. So it's in the middle. So it's because it's very important. So our sages say it's in the most important prayer, and Satan is going to try to confuse you, and he's going to give you like all of the great thoughts, not only bad thoughts. Of course, bad thoughts according to level of person, right? But to a holy person, right? He's going to put the other thoughts, even though he must concentrate on a prayer shemoneh esrei. So some people that I know. So actually, they accept it on themselves, since it is known it came from Sitra Achra, from another side. Don't act on what they thought during the shemoneh esrei. It's very interesting. Is it halacha? It's not halacha, but I know one specific person, so he's no longer with us. But That's and he was very makpid, very particular, not to follow up on thoughts. For example, he has an issue, right? Issue, and of course you're thinking about issue, and you cannot sleep. You're always like in your mind, and you praying shemoneh, praying. It's like solution, like the best solution, like right, and he would not act on that solution. So will I act on the solution? Most likely. You understand? So of course you maybe modify not to be exactly as the thought that during the shemoneh, but yeah, but try like usually it's very good thoughts, of course, because Satan wants to confuse you, right? Okay.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. That was very handy.
Yes.
So I guess that also applies when we have this, let's say, so-called chiddushim, places we're not supposed to think about Torah. For example, the bathroom. Could we say, or could we automatically discard this so-called chiddushim? We get it them in such places.
No. In this case, there is no problem. So it's because person could not contain himself. It is forbidden to think about it. But very interesting. The halacha is if person has improper thoughts, improper about immorality, right, in the bathroom. So it is allowed for him to push it even through the Torah thoughts in the bathroom. You understand? So that's it's very, very important. So we try not to, of course. I mean, because it's if a person has even in the bathroom, so it's show the level of refinement of the person, right? So if you continue think about Torah, of course, I mean there are breaks, you have to take care of other things, but if it's what is on your mind, so it's not so so easy to change the speed, like to change the direction. I have to like brake, like hard brake, like stop, right? Sudden stop and do whatever I need to do. So not everybody is in like, especially if you're like in Torah thoughts like all day, it's not so easy to change, to switch. So for me, I like to switch. So there is one class, and we learn, it's very interesting. We learn 5 to 6 subjects. Right, so I like it. They also like it. So they get like too like it's not like too hard. Like we would do like 1 hour halacha, then musar, then story, then something else, then back to halacha, this and that. So, but for me there is no problem. But my wife, for example, she said I cannot do it. That's too much. So she likes to have only one subject. Okay. So like because you have to like stop and like reprogram your mind and go to a different direction. Okay, so that's not so easy. Okay, but me personally I like this. Okay, what else?
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Someone just put an amazing question on the board. It says, Shalom Kavod. I wonder what is the proper ideology women should have in regards to family and marriage. The Western society is pushing the toxic feminist ideology, while other cultures like Arabs abuse women. What is the middle path women should obtain in accordance with Torah?
So it's not a middle path. It's not it's not middle. It's not. We have only one path according to the Torah, and the good thing is that our path is the same for 300 and 3,300 I don't know how many plus years, exactly the same path. So a woman was created, right? We learn in the Parsha Bereshis as Ezer Kenegdo, so meaning the support. So a woman was created as a support to her husband, and she's the anchor of the family. You understand? That's our ideology. Of course, if husband cannot work or he cannot make some more money, so she can work also as well. I mean, or she can manage children and work. There is no problem whatsoever, right? But the main point is the family. So feminists usually they don't like children. They like party. They like miniskirts. Arabs are crazy. So you see what would they do, right? Also not good, right? So they all basically when I'm trying to do have a clear Torah values, and people trying to modify it and go in their own way because of their desires, and you see it's failing. These Arabs, like it's normal for Muslim to rape their wives. It's not considered to be rape. It's normal, absolutely normal, right? And for these feminists to be crazy, I mean, in their own sense. Okay, but the Torah, so we have a value, right? When a woman is very important in the family, so husband must respect her, and it says clearly, halacha is that he has to love her as himself and respect her more than himself. So that's Rambam, Hilchas Ishut, right? The laws of the women, and then he explains why. So why when you love a person always loves himself, right? So you would not forget to eat, right? Unless you're like maybe one time you forget because you're busy, but try to skip 2 meals, most likely not. Yeah, you understand? So because why? Because we are in love with ourselves. So same you have to feel about your spouse. So call her, ask her, did you eat today? What did you eat? I left you this and that. So I share with you. I ate only half of the whatever sandwich. So the second sandwich is for you. I know you're busy. I know you don't feel well. So that's meaning of the love. So same as you're going to prepare food for yourself for dinner. So you're going to prepare for your wife. And the second part, Rambam explains, you have to respect you more than yourself. Maybe you're not such you were trying to you work on yourself on humility and stuff. Okay, you Mr. Tzaddik, you be very humble. But the wife, like, you have to respect more yourself. If you don't respect yourself, there is no problem. You have to give her the utmost respect. And when you treat your wife and you treat your husband, wife, like in this, according to Torah value, this marriage is going to last forever and ever, right? So there is like you see this holy tzaddikim, they are couples. They miss each other, and it's unbelievable. They've been together for 70 years. Like you still miss it. You normal, you older. Yes, that's that the relationship based on Torah values. You understand? So just see how they live, and you want to do the same. And there is a famous story about Rav Eliashiv. Shalom Eliashiv, that's all right. So it says that every time he has the same schedule. So being if you want to be successful, right, you have to be organized. So we always say about being organized. So all of these great people, they were organized. They did not sleep. They did not stay up until 3 in the morning. Nobody, right? So they would go to sleep, right? Of course, everybody has their own schedule, but their own normal schedule. They would go to sleep like 9 p.m., right? Wake up and 1:30, and then continue learning until the morning, right? So Rabbi Eliashiv, the Tzalsius, he would get up. Of course, they were very poor. So what his breakfast was black coffee, right? Coffee, bread, probably not, just coffee, right? And his wife, right, would get up and make him this coffee, of course, sugar, right? And maybe milk, I don't know, maybe. And one time, so he said, okay, I don't feel well, I have to go to learn, but he did not finish coffee. Rabbi is left. So, and she tried to drink this coffee. So why should you go to waste? I mean, he said, I don't feel well. Usually when you're well, you don't want to eat, right? So she started drinking and they spit it out. It was full of salt. So and then she was in shock, and she went to her closet and checked. So she had like these unnamed jars, right, and put from a big package into this jar. And she made a mistake. Maybe she was sleepy or whatever. So instead of sugar in this jar, she put the salt. So her dear husband was drinking the coffee with the salt for 6 months without saying one word. So he was always saying thank you. He did not want to embarrass her. You understand? And he lived until 103 years old. She passed much earlier, of course, but it was a very happy marriage. More than 1,000 descendants, literally. No, not figuratively, literally. You understand? That's when you see these examples and all of the feminists that on marriage number 24, right, of these Arabs that hate each other. So of course, you know that the way of Hashem is the perfect way. Okay, what else?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Coincidentally enough, I was working like a few minutes ago until I made it home, taking pictures on this event from those feminist people, and I just wanted to run away so bad. I mean, I was wondering if Hashem was sort of punish me that I could not attend to the class because of taking pictures of this feminist. It was. I had no idea this was like a feminist event. It was horrible. But yeah, I just wanted to relate to this question because this is like getting a lot of strength these days. It's very hard not to find like a bunch of women that are kind of empowering themselves, but for the wrong reasons. And it's very sad. But that takes me to my next question in regards to the preferences that we have as men towards women. Because me personally, for some reason, I don't like the women. I wouldn't say that I like bossy women, that I would like to have a bossy wife. But on the other hand, I wouldn't like to have a wife that I would tell her something and he should exactly do everything that I do. Like, I don't know if this is something that is wrong with me, or should I work on it perhaps, or there's like a good side from this, because I remember the story of, I don't remember his name, this person that got saved when the whole issue of Korah happened, and his wife, he was kind of saved him and did this thing with the Kisui Rosh, and I think that this is a brave woman. This is something that I would like to have as a wife. Someone that can stand for herself. On the other hand, I don't want someone brazen. So I was just wondering what would be like the sweet spot for us men to, or for at least me personally, to look for a woman having this in mind.
So first of all, about the story with her so that does not say that she was like that always. So, but sometimes the woman has to take charge. When she said that the man is very self-conscious. It's more than the women, right? So he does not want to show like to be seen as a weak person, weak personality, and what the other man is going to say about them. So this woman sometimes she has to step up and say, no, you're not going to do it. So does she have to be like this every day with the breakfast? Yeah, I want you to cook me three course breakfast. No, but sometimes like she's normal wife, right? Very supportive. But sometimes she has to take a stand because she sees, and as we said before, women have this special sensitivity, like extra, like sixth sense, that they know that something is going wrong. And men also, maybe he knows, but not that much. Not that's like she would have sharp vision. So my wife tell me like things I said like, where do you get it from? But then we tried to we started to analyze things, and she was 100% right. And sometimes she would say things, and I said it's very interesting. I told you so. So many, like a long time ago, and she started reminding, and exactly, she told me so, but unfortunately, I was not very careful, was not paying enough attention. You understand? So, but bossy women, so some men need the bossy women, and we know we have these couples as what is it? our students, but the woman, I told you that this says a few specific couples in my mind. So I told her that she has to put him as a boss, right? So, like, pretend that he's a boss, but to direct him, because he's a weak character. So if you let him run the family, you're going to end up very bad. You understand? But on one hand, but on another hand, all of the men have their ego. So you cannot step on their ego. Like you're not smart woman. Hashem gave you this special brain as a woman, so to use it wisely. So don't put him down. Don't step on him. You understand? So make him put the idea into a man's head. So and then let him come up with this idea. I had wonderful idea. She said, yeah, really, you're such a smart person. Yes. We should do it. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. It's very thoughtful. We should do that. Understand? And swallow your pride. And that's it. So, because when you're a family, you're a team. So it's not about who is smarter, who is this, who is that. It's about achieving or surviving as a unit. Right? So that doesn't matter who did this or who did that. You wash the dishes or I did wash the dishes. Doesn't matter. So the dishes are clean and they're ready for the next use. That's what counts. You understand? So then we'll look in the women. The most important quality is a God-fearing person. So if she's God-fearing person, she's not going to sin, and she's going to stop you from sinning. And you understand? So she's not going to be bossy, right? But in times when the time calls, she would stand up, right, and not put you in your place, in the right place, which is good. You understand? So of course it's through the discussion, through this and that, but sometimes men are just stubborn and stupid because of their ego. So I have to slap a little. Spiritual slap. Okay. What else?
Thank you very much for that.
You're
That was
welcome.
amazing. So I don't see more questions on the board, and I think on my end there's no more questions, at least for today.
Okay, no problem. So very good. So thank you very much, everybody. So tomorrow, please join us. Tomorrow we're going to learn kosher kitchen. Very interesting. All right. So same time. Till tomorrow, Beezrat Hashem. Thank you. Good night.